Begin the Gemara today on Daf Kuf Tes, Amud Aleph, fourth line down from the top of the Amud. Ve'ema. The Gemara before brought the pasuk where it says V'mein achim la'av u'nesatem es nachlosai l'she'eroi hakarev elov. And the Gemara darshaned that she'eroi refers to the father. And the Gemara there explained that you read the pasuk in a way that it's saying that if there's no son or daughter, then the next one to Yarshin would be the father. And only afterwards comes the others that the pasuk says there. That was the Braise that the Gemara brought. Okay, so on this, the Gemara now will ask a few questions in the order of the Yerusha. How do we know that the father actually comes after the son or daughter? In fact, the Gemara, why can't I say as follows? She'eroi zeh ha'af. She'eroi refers to the father. And what it's telling me is, Melamed sha'af koidem labas, that a father inherits his son even before a daughter inherits the father. So before we said that the order in the pasuk is first a ben, then a bas, a son, a daughter, and then if there's no son or daughter, then the father yarshins. But maybe the father yarshins before a daughter. And then yochel, and then further you would say that yakdim leben. Maybe the father should yarshin even before a son yarshins his father. Talmud loima hakarev. So the pasuk says, L'she'eroi hakarev teaches me karev kaidim, that the one that's a closer relative yarshins first, and the Gemara already explained before in Daf Kuf Ches that a son is a closer relative because he takes the place of his father for yiyud and by stei achuzah, and that you don't find that by the father. So in that sense, we know that the son is closer, therefore the son yarshins before a father. But how do you know that the father yarshins only after a daughter? Maybe a father yarshins before the daughter. Okay, now just to point out again, the Rashbam pointed this out already before, that even though in the pasuk it says she'eroi later in the pasuk, it says first that if there's no ben, so in the order of the pasuk it says the daughter after the son, but the pasuk is written out of order. Anyways, according to it says she'eroi all the way at the end. After it says the brother yarshins and even the father's brother yarshins. In the end of the pasuk it says that then she'eroi. So either way, the pasuk is out of order. So maybe she'eroi, which is the father, he yarshins before the daughter. So the Gemara answers, no, there's a reason why the daughter yarshins first. Kiven de le'inyin yibum. Since when it comes to yibum, ben ubaski adodininu, the son and the daughter are the same. As the Gemara explained before already, that yibum, when a person passes away without children, so then there's a mitzvah of yibum, that the wife marries the brother. But if there's either a son or a daughter, then there's no yibum. So that's just like regarding a son. The Gemara said before that we see from this that a son is closer than a brother because the son patters the brother from yibum. The same is with a daughter. When there's a daughter, she also patters from yibum. Even though in the pasuk it says uven ein loy, then only when there's no son, then there's yibum. But the Gemara darshans on this ein loy ayin olav, that it means any child, whether a son or a daughter, there will not be a mitzvah of yibum. So just like we see regarding that the son and the daughter are the same, regarding inheriting as well, the son and the daughter are closer to the father than a father is to his son. And therefore they yarshin before the father. The Gemara has another question regarding the place and when the father would yarshin. Maybe I could say, she'eroi zeh ha'av, that she'eroi refers to the father. And Malamed comes to tell me, sha'av koidem la'cheyav, that a father yarshins before his brothers, which would be the uncle of the person that passed away, that he only yarshins before them. Now, yochel yakdim la'achin, and I would think that a father yarshins before the brothers of the person that passed away. Talmud loima hakarev kaidem, and therefore the word hakarev comes to say that the brothers come before the father. They're a closer relative. There's a mitzvah of yibum by the brothers, and therefore they're considered to be closer. So the question of the Gemara is, before we said that the order of Yerusha is, if a person has no sons or daughters, who's the next one in line to Yarshin? The father. But maybe we should say that no, after the son and daughter, a brother Yarshins first, and if not a brother, then we go to the father. Maybe that's the order. And says the Gemara, it can't be, because Acheya Av lo yitzrich ikra. the fact that a father yarshins before his brothers, meaning the uncles of the person that passed away, for that you don't need any pasuk to teach this to me. You can't say that when the Torah wrote the ha-korev, the extra hey, the ha-korev, it's coming to say that the father yarshins after the brothers, but he yarshins before his own brothers, before the uncles. For that you wouldn't need any pasuk. Why not? Because the father's brothers, the uncle of the person that passed away, based on who and why are they inheriting? It's because of the father. It's because of the fact that they are brothers of the father of the person that passed away. So if so, again, Mikoyach av koi. Av koyarsi achei av. Again, Mikoyach, how do you read this again over here? Mikoyach man ka'osu, Mikoyach av koi. Av koyarsi achei av. Again, Mikoyach... Koyach man kasu, mikoyach av koi. Again, no, this is how you read it. Acheya av mikoyach man kasu, mikoyach av. The brothers of the father, based on what? Why do they inherit? Because of the father. Koi av, koyarsi acheya av. If the father is here, the father is alive, and he could be the one that would inherit. So the brothers of the father would inherit. Obviously, that's not the case. You don't even need a pasuk to teach this to me. So therefore, if the pasuk says ha korev kaidim, it's coming to say that the father yarshins even before the brothers, and that's the chiddush over here. Not that he yarshins before his own brothers. That's pashut. We know that he yarshins before them. But over here, the chiddush is when the Torah says she'eroi, that the father yarshins before the brothers. And when it says karev kaidim, it's coming to say regarding other cases that in the order of haya yarshim. But over here, she'eroi, the father yarshins before the brothers. Okay, frag the Gemara. Now, after we conclude the way we darshan the psukim, the order of the Yerusha, which is first a son, then a daughter, and if not them, then the father. If not the father, then the brother, and if not the brother, then the brother of the father, which is the uncle. But the question is, but the order of the pasuk is not written this way, because the chsiv in the pasuk it says, "V'im ein achim la'aviv v'gaimer." If the father does not have any brothers, meaning first it says the Yerusha of the uncle, and only afterwards it says that the father himself would yarshin. So it mentions the father, she'era, which is the father, the last. And says the Gemara, kroi shaloi kesidran ksivi. The pasuk is written out of order. So we can't darshan based on what it says in the pasuk. The pasuk is written out of order. Anyways, you're forced to say that the pasuk is written out of order. Why? Because it says in the pasuk that the uncles yarshim before the father, and as the Gemara just explained, that anyways can't be. So we know that the pasuk is out of order. So therefore, it's not a question. We must say once the pasuk writes akarev kaidim, it's basically telling you don't follow the order of the pasuk, follow the order of who is a closer relative, and that's how the seder of the Yerusha goes. This is all the conclusion of the drasha of the Gemara according to the Braise that I brought before on Daf Kuf Ches, that we learn the father's Yerusha from the word she'eroi. That she'era refers to the father. Now the Gemara brings another opinion, a different Braise here. Says the Gemara, v'hai tane, here we have another tana of a Braise, ma'isi lo mehocha. So he learns out the drasha from here, from the following pasuk. The Tanya, we learned in the Braise, ezu darash Rabbi Shmuel b'Rabbi Yosi. This is what Rabbi Shmuel b'Rabbi Yosi darshaned. It says in the pasuk, ish kiyamos uven ein lo v'gomer. A person dies and he has no sons. And then the continuation of the pasuk it says, what do you do? V'havartem es nachlose lebitay, and you should give the Yerusha to the daughter. Now it doesn't actually say the word give. It just says v'havartem. You should pass. Now why is it used this kind of a term that you should pass the Yerusha to the daughter? So from this term we learn out b'mokim bas, in the place where there is a daughter, atamaver nachla mina'av, that you take away the Yerusha from the father. That the daughter yarshins before a father. First a son, if not a son, then a daughter, and we take away the father that you would think that would come before a daughter, or we give it first to the daughter, and then the father. And we don't take away the inheritance from the father in a place that there are brothers. Okay, meaning that the father comes before the brothers of the person that passed away. That's what we learn out from this pasuk. Now the Rashbam here adds, from what it says in the Sifri, based on the drasha here, that it's not only that this Tana in the Braisa learns out the order of the Yerusha, differently than the previous Braisa, but also the source for the father B'chlal inheriting is not learned from the word She'eray. It's learned from a Kal V'chaimer. If the pasuk says that the uncles can yarshin, it says Achei Av, that the uncles will yarshin, for sure the father yarshins. The pasuk doesn't even have to say that. The Gemara before already said that the whole svara, that the uncles yarshin, is because they are the brothers of the father. So for sure, if the father himself is alive, he would yarshin. So for that, you don't even need a source b'chlal. Okay, that's this drasha, the Tana by Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yosi. Now on this, the Gemara asks, Ve'emeh, maybe I should understand the word v'havartem es nachlasi lebitoi differently. Maybe I should say as follows: B'makaim bas, in the place where a person has a daughter, atamav nachla min ha'achin. So then you pass over and you take away the Yerusha of brothers, and the daughter will yashim before the daughter, before the brothers, that is, but not before the father. Why are we saying that the daughter yashins before the father? Maybe that's not the case. Maybe it's just saying that the daughter yashins before a brother. And and you don't take away, you don't pass over the inheritance from the father, even when there is a daughter. So maybe we should say that a father does yashin before a daughter. But the Gemara says that can't be what the extra word or this unique word of havartem is coming to teach. Because it shouldn't say the word vahavartem, because if in the simple pshat of the pasuk, if you look in the order of the pasuk, it says v'mein le'esh ben, then you give it vahavartem snachlosai lebitoi, and then it says, and if you don't have a daughter, then you give it to the brothers. That's the order in the pasuk. So it's clear in the seder of the pasuk that after a daughter comes a brother. So if you're saying that the pasuk is coming to teach me that order, it's not necessary to use the word vahavartem. You could just say nesatem, give the Yerusha to the daughter, and if no daughter, then you go to the next in the pasuk, which is the brother. The fact that it uses the word vahavartem shows me this drasha. The Gemara said before that in a place where there is a daughter, then you take away the Yerusha from the father. The father does not come before a daughter, and then after the father comes the brothers, as the say that we said before. Okay, so we now have two different drashas how to learn out the source that a father yarshins his son, either from the word she'erai. She'erai refers to a father, or, as I mentioned, it's a kal v'chaimer, and we learn the seder of the Yerusha from the word vahavartem, that a father comes after the daughter. So now the Gemara will explain both of these opinions. What does each one learn out from the word of the other opinion? The one that learns out the seder of the Yerusha of the father from the word vahavartem, and he has a kal v'chaimer for the fact that the father yarshins, sahai she'erai mayavidle. What does he learn out from the word she'erai? He doesn't learn from the father. Answers the Gemara mi he learns out from that word what it says in the Braisa. She'erai zu ishtay. She'erai refers to a person's wife. Melamed, from here we learn shahabal yodesh ishtay, that a person inherits his wife. Now, even though in the simple pshat of the pasuk, it seems to be saying that a person's wife would yarshin him, because it says she'erai, which is a wife, yarshins the person. But nevertheless, the Gemara will later explain, the Rashbam here brings, we'll see later in the Gemara, that the Gemara darshins the words in the pasuk in a way that it means that the person yarshins his wife, not the other way around. Now, Aman, the nafkaleh mishe'erai, and according to the other opinion, that learns out that the father yarshins his son from the word she'erai, hai vahavartem mayavidle. What does he learn out from this word vahavartem? Says the Gemara, mi boyle lekedetanya. He needs this word to teach us what it says in the Braisa. Rabbi says, b'kulan nema behen nesine. Regarding all different people, it mentions in the pasuk that the yarshin, the Torah uses the term nesina. You give the inheritance to this person. V'kan nema nemra behen avara. Here the Torah uses the term havara, Passover. What does that mean? She'ein lecha shemave nachla mishevet l'shevet. What it's saying is that there is no inheritance where the Yerusha now ends up from one tribe to another, elabas. That's only when a daughter will yarshin the father. Hayol ubno bailo yarshin, because if the daughter yarshins from the father, what happens? Now her son, which is from a different shevet, if she married someone from a different shevet, or her husband, which is from a different shevet, could end up yarshining her. So that's what the Torah is saying, vahavartem, that even though it's going to pass over to a different shevet, but the daughter still yarshins. That's the meaning of that word. Okay, now the Gemara comes back to the word she'eda yumimai. How do I know the she'eda is zu'af? How do I know that the term she'eda means a father? So the reason is because we see the term she'er used regarding a father. It says she'er avicha hu. So we see that it means a father. But the question is, maybe she'er means the mother, because the pasuk says she'er imchahi. It also used the term she'er regarding a mother. So maybe it means the mother. So the Gemara answers, Omar Rava. So Rava answers, Omar Kra. The pasuk says, mimishpachtoi. The pasuk here says that when it says after she'era, it says she'era yakorev elov mimishpachtoi. What is mimishpachtoi? V'yorashay said that Yarshim from your family. Mishpachas av kruya mishpacha. It adds the word mishpachta to say that it's the father, because only family, which is paternal relationship from the father, that's called family. Mishpachas aim, the mother, a family that is a relationship only because of a maternal relationship, ain a kruya mishpacha. That's not family. Why? How do we know? D'chsiv lemishpachaisa leveis avaisam. That it's the mishpacha which that comes from the same father. That's family. And therefore, from here we understand that regarding Yerusha, only family that is family that share the same father. That's what the Yerusha is. And therefore, over here as well, she'era means only the father, not the mother. The Gemara asks in this, mishpachas aim, eina kruya mishpacha, a mishpacha, that a family that you share, your relative, you share the same mother, or there's a relative only because of a mother, that's not a family. The Gemara brings, we find that v'haksiv, the pasuk says in Shoftim, vayihi nar mi beis lechem Yehuda, mishpachas Yehuda, and there was a lad that came from Beis Lechem Yehuda, and he came from mishpachas Yehuda, from the family of Yehuda. And Vuhu Levi, and he's a Levi, Vuhu Garsham, and he lived there. This is the story of Pesel Micha, when there was a person that placed the Pesel Micha, that is, that he placed a Pesel, Amnavei Zara. And then there was a lad there that passed by, and he brought him to serve there as a kohen for this Avodah Zara. And the pasuk describes this person, and it says that he's Mishpachas Yehuda, but he's a Levi. So the question is, how could that be? Hagufa Kashya. The pasuk is contradicting itself. Amrit, you're saying Vuhu Levi. So Alma Milevi Asi. So it says he's a Levi, that means he comes from Shevet Levi. And then it says Mimishpachas Yehuda. Alma Yehuda Asi. From the family of Yehuda, that means that he comes from Yehuda. Se'elalav, don't you think this means the Avua Milevi, his father came from a Levi, and as far as being from the Shevet of Levi, you follow the father, so therefore he's a Levi. But Ve'imei Mi Yehuda. But he was from the family of Yehuda because his mother comes from Yehuda. V'ka Omar, and the pasuk is saying Mimishpachas Yehuda, that he's from the family of Yehuda. So it seems that even if it's just the relation through a mother that you belong to a certain family, that it's called Mishpachas Yehuda. Amar Rav Barav Chanan answers, Loi, that's not the meaning here. Gavre the Shmei Levi. It's a person that had the name Levi. He Bechlal wasn't part of Shevet Levi. He had the name Levi, but he was from Shevet Yehuda. Even from his father, he came from Shevet Yehuda, and that's why it's called Mishpachas Yehuda. But if that's the case, that it's just a name, that he had the name Levi, this the Micha there in the pasuk says, as I mentioned, Micha placed this pesel, and he says, Ato Yedaiti, Ki Yetiv Hashem li, now that I know Hashem will be good to me, Ki Hoyeli Halevi Lekayin, because I found a Levi to be a Kayin for me. So it sounds like what he's saying is that because I found someone from Shevet Levi that would serve as a Kayin for me for this Avodah Zarah, that's what made him satisfied. Not that he just had a name Levi. So but the Gemara still argues back and says, no, we could still say, like we said before, that it's a person that had the name Levi. The Isramile Gavra the Shmei Levi. He had a person that had the name Levi, and since it's similar to Shevet Levi, it was for that reason alone that he was satisfied, but he wasn't someone that was from Shevet Levi. Okay, that's the answer that the Gemara says at this point. That again, the point is that he was a person with the name Levi, but he really came from Mishpachas Yehuda. Even his father came from Shevet Yehuda. But the Gemara still asks on this, how could he say this? Was this a person that his name was actually Levi? We know Yehoinison, that is. We know that his name was Yehoinison. Shenema, the pasuk says, Yehoinison ben Gershom ben Menashehu, that his name was Yehoinison, the son of Gershom, the son of Menashe. Ubanav hoyu kayanim l'shevet hadoni. So we see that he was his name was Yehoinison. His name wasn't Levi, so you can't say that his name was Levi. So Amalei, so the answer, so the Bach takes out here the word Ulataimech. So he answered and says as follows. Let's see, who was this person? So now we know that his name actually was Yehoinison. Okay, but now the question is, V'chi ben Menashehu? Was he actually a son of Menashe? When it says here that he was a son of Gershom, which was the son of Menashe, was he a son of Menashe? V'halei ben Moshehu. He was actually, his father was a son of Moshe. The pasuk says, B'nei Moshe. Who were the children of Moshe? Gershom ve'Eliezer. He had two sons, Gershom and Eliezer, and here this individual Yohainason was a son of one of the sons of Moshe. So, and the Rashbam here brings that in the Messiah, in the word Menashe that's written here, the nun of the word Menashe is written higher up. It's not written mamish as part of the word on the same line with the rest of the word, because really his name was Moshe. So this was really a grandson of Moshe. Now Ella, so why is it saying in the pasuk that he was a son of Menashe? Because what he did was something similar to what Menashe, which was a king later that came from Ben Menashe ben Chizkiah, he was a Melech Yehuda, and he served Avodah Zarah. That was Menashe. So therefore, Tolei HaKosav b'Menashe. So therefore, the pasuk over here also adds in that nun to say that this person now, this grandson of Moshe that served Avodah Zarah, he acted similar to Menashe. So Hachanami, if so, we can say as well, Mitoich she'asa ma'aseh Menashe, the Asi Yehuda, because he acted like Menashe that served Avodah Zarah, and Menashe came from Shevet Yehuda, Tolei HaKosav Yehuda. So therefore the pasuk says that he's from Mishpachas Yehuda, but really he was not from the Mishpach of Yehuda. Really he was a Levi. And why is he a Levi? Because he was really a grandson of Moshe. But because he acted like Menashe that came from the kings of Yehuda, so therefore the pasuk says that it was Menashe from the Mishpach of Yehuda. Therefore, there's no raya from this pasuk that family follows the mother. The family only follows the father, at least when it comes to Yerusha. That the mishpacha is, like you said before, mishpachaisam leveis avaisam. Okay, now based on this pasuk here, the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Yochanan mishum Rab Shimon ben Yochi mikan. From here we learn shetoyle es hakalkala b'mekolkol, that when you have someone that ruins things or that does things bad, so then he's connected to someone, or we connect him to someone that's also bad. Like we see here in this pasuk, that this individual, he was a grandson of Moshe, but nevertheless the pasuk relates him to Menashe that came from Yehuda because they both served Avodah Zarah. Rabbi Yosef B'Chanina says, Mehacha. We can learn that idea from this pasuk. It says here in the pasuk regarding one of the sons of David HaMelech. David HaMelech had a son named Adoniah, and he had a son named Avshalom. They were both from different mothers though. And it says in the pasuk, V'gamu toiv toyar, Adoniah was a toiv toyar, and Moed, and Va'isa Yolda, and his mother gave birth to him, Achrei Avshalom, after Avshalom. Now the question is, how can the pasuk say that the same mother gave a birth to Adoniah and Avshalom? They were different mothers. Adoniah was ben Chagis. He was a son of Chagis. And Avshalom was ben Macha. His mother was Macha. The reason why it's saying that they both had the same mother, and the pasuk's relating Adoniah to Avshalom, is mitoich she'asa ma'aseh Avshalom, because he acted similar to Avshalom, which is the Marad b'Malchus. He rebelled against the kingdom of his father David HaMelech. Tolei HaKosav b'Avshalom. So therefore the pasuk is relating Adoniah to Avshalom, saying that they have the same mother. Adoniah also tried to rebel against David HaMelech, and therefore it says them both together. Another thing the Gemara learns out from here, we said before that Moshe Rabbeinu had a grandson, Yohainason, that served Avodah Zarah. Amar Rabbi Elazar said, La'olam yidbak adam b'tovim. A person should always connect to people that come from a good lineage, from a good place. Shaharei Moshe shenasa bas Yisrael. Moshe, he married the daughter of Yisrael. Yisrael himself was a Eved Avodah Zarah. So he married the daughter of Yisrael. So therefore what ended up happening is, Yatsa mimenu Yohainason. He had a grandson, Yohainason, that served Avodah Zarah by the Pesel Micha. Aaron, on the other hand, his brother Aaron, Shenasa bas Aminadav, that married, that is the daughter of Aminadav, which was the father of Nachshon ben Aminadav. Yatsa mimenu Pinchas. Who did he have that came out from him? Who was his grandson? Pinchas. Which was a great tzaddik, obviously. So we see here that it matters who a person marries. Like one asks on this, but Pinchas, Lav, me Yisrael, didn't Pinchas himself as well also come from Yisrael? The pasuk says, "Ve'elazar ben Aaron lokachlei mibnois Putiel." And Lazar, the son of Aaron, married from the daughters of Putiel Leisha. That was his wife. Now, what does Putiel mean? Who was this Putiel? My love, don't you think this refers to Yisrael? The Asi mi Yisrael, that his wife came from Yisrael, shepitim agolim l'avodah zarah, that fattened calves for avodah zarah. So we see that his mother also came from Yisrael, just like Moshe that married the daughter of Yisrael. So what's the difference between them? And says the Gemara, Loi, it doesn't mean that he came from Yisrael, that the mother came from Yisrael. Rather, the Putil means the Osimi Yosef, that the mother was a descendant of Yosef, Shepitpit be Yitzray, that fought against his Yetzirah. That's where his mother came from. Fact the Gemara, but we know that this is not true because after Pinchas killed Zimri and Salu and the story there that happened, so then the Shvatim were embarrassing him and they said to him, did you see Ben Puti Zeh? This person that's a Ben Puti, what does Ben Puti mean? Ben Shapitim Avi Ima Agalm Avodah Zarah. This son that his mother was fattening calves for Avodah Zarah, Yarig Nasi Shevet Mi Yisrael. He goes and kills a leader amongst Yidden. So we see here that his mother did come from Yisrael. So the Gemara answers, Elo, we have to say about this, Iyavua de Ime mi Yosef, Ima de Ima mi Yisrael. If we're going to say that the father of his mother came from Yosef, so then the mother of his mother came from Yisrael. In other words, we know now that he had a lineage, his mother had a lineage coming from both Yisrael and from Yosef. Now, obviously, Yisrael and Yosef have nothing to do with each other. So either his father of his mother came from Yisrael, and then the mother of his mother came from Yosef, or Avua de Ime mi Yisrael, his mother's father came from Yisrael, and Ime de Ime, his mother's mother, mi Yosef, was from Yosef. How do we know that both are true? That Putil means that the lineage was both from Yisrael and from Yosef. Deikanami, we can prove this. T'chsiv mibnois puti el. It doesn't say putal, it says puti el tarti. That's two. This concept of puti el, puti, ben puti is twice ben puti. Once for being a descendant of Yosef and once for being a descendant from Yisrael. Shma mina, that proves the point. But what's the point that the Gemara is answering here regarding the question that it asked, that by Moshe you see that he had a grandson that served Avodah Zarah and not by Aaron, even though L'chaira Pinchas also came from a descendant that came from Yisrael. So the Rashbam explains the point here is that by Moshe it was a grandson. It was a grandson of Moshe Rabbeinu, and his wife was Tzipora, that was a daughter of Yisrael. So that was a closer connection to Yisrael. That's why we're saying that this caused that he should come and serve Avodah Zarah. But by the case of Pinchas, he was also a descendant from Yisrael, but it was further. It was a fourth generation, or maybe even a fifth generation. It just says that he was a descendant of Yisrael. But because it was a further away from Yisrael, so therefore that didn't affect the lineage. It didn't affect the yichus that he should serve Avodah Zarah. Adarabah, he was a tzaddik. That's the difference, and therefore you can learn out from Moshe Rabbeinu this concept.